I'd like to start off by introducing our organizers. First we have Serena Harper. We have Esther Lopez. Eric Bischoff. Leslie Lanier is running around getting coffee in the back. Nancy Lowry is also standing in the back. And I'm Ernesto Gamboa, so again, welcome and thank you for coming to 1 Million Cups El Paso. We'd like to start off with a short video of the Hub of Human Innovation, our venue sponsor, because it occurred to us that folks have been coming here, sometimes for months, and weren't totally sure what the Hub does beyond 1 Million Cups. So we're going to show you this short video first. Okay, so we are a business and technology incubator. If you have any interest in what it is we do, what we offer, please see one of us after the presentations. Next we have our media sponsor, Digital Bull. Omar, did you want to make a comment about the live streaming?
Yeah, sure. Hello, hi, my name is Omar. I'm from Digital Bull Creative and also Borderlands TV, and we're actually the company that's doing the live streaming for this event. And we have been doing the live streaming for the past 5-6 events, and we will continue to do it from now on. And pretty much what we're doing is we're live streaming onto Facebook for the Hub of Human Innovation. So we would like to encourage you guys to go onto your social media platforms, especially Facebook, and if you can, share this event so that way we can get this thing to grow and to spread. And also, it's very important for you presenters also to share this so that way all your viewers can also watch you. That's about it.
Great, thank you, Omar. Okay, so who's here for the first time at 1 Million Cups? Show of hands, please. Wonderful, thank you. We'd like to start off then with a short video on 1 Million Cups.
1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities, creates a quick energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with people that have ideas too, it helps people believe that, you know what, my idea is worth something, it's worth pursuing, it's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Okay, so 1 Million Cups was started by the Kaufman Foundation with the idea of promoting entrepreneurial networking and education. Every week we bring in 2 entrepreneurs and we have them tell us their story, their lesson learned, their trials, their tribulations, their successes. And then we opened it up for a 15-minute Q&A with all of you, the audience, and that's the real value add for 1 Million Cups. Everybody's told us this. We get great ideas, great feedback, so do not be afraid to get in the weeds with them, challenge them, but also, again, provide constructive criticism and feedback. So that's the value of 1 Million Cups. I'd like to do a shout out to our sponsors. Our delicious coffees by Krispy Kreme Donuts. No donuts, just coffee for now. We're working on it, we're working on it. And then, of course, our venue sponsor, the Hub of Human Innovation, where we are, and as we mentioned, Borderlands TV and Digital Bull are our media partners. Please do download the mobile app for 1 Million Cups. You can download it, and it does have a feature where you can provide feedback to the presenters even after the fact. And do join the community at 1millioncups.org/El Paso. Please join, share, follow on Facebook and Twitter, both 1 Million Cups and the Hub. With that, I will bring up our first presenter, ALPFA.
Introduction. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. This is my first time here at 1 Million Cups. I see some familiar faces, but it's really an honor to be able to speak with you today. My name is Isabel Briones, and I am a CPA. I am the current chapter president of the Association of Latino Professionals for America here in El Paso, and I also own IDCPA. I just opened that recently as well. But today I will focus on ALPFA, and maybe another time we'll speak about the business side. And I'll share a little bit also about my journey as well. So speaking of journey, let's see if this works first, that would help. Go back, I think it loaded a different version of this, so we'll go in a little circle here. You have a quick preview of everything I'm going to say. So, with regards to journey, I have been blessed to work in several areas with leading county operations in both the public and private sector, and I've worked on several nonprofit boards, to include ALPFA at the Government Accountability Office in Washington, D.C., and that's where I was first introduced to ALPFA. And with regards to that, I recently was reintroduced to ALPFA when I saw the amazing students, the UTEP chapter students here in the city. They were engaging in a lot of opportunities, just seeing them go get opportunities with top Fortune 1000 companies and seeing all that. And of course, they can get opportunities in other places, but I thought, why not here? I found out that there wasn't a professional chapter here in El Paso. And so looking at this picture similar to that, where do you go from here? There wasn't a connection to that path. And I'll take a side segue to the career side with regards to my business. And I also thought, similarly, I had great ideas with the county, with really optimizing accounting, creating real-time solutions for organizations, strategic planning to make those really great decisions and having that hands-on information. But I thought also, my information and ideas were only going so far. Just like here, you're taking a walk, what do? Jump in the water and swim to where? So I thought, let's do a connection here. Let's do something. Launch it yourself. So similar to this young man here, I thought, let's launch it myself, and a little overwhelmed in the beginning. But just like looking at this picture, we all know it's very feasible to start reading and getting caught up with everything. I can really go into a lot of detail on this. I know many of you have been to maybe conferences where you see different steps, so I can delve in, but I'm going to give you the quick summary version of this, of how I got started on both endeavors. The first one, of course, is the vision. I have a vision. I said I want to launch this. I want to be able to give the opportunity for young Latino leaders to take their career and grow to the next level. And I also thought, with regards to my business, I want my ideas to go farther, so I'm going to launch my own business. And so I had to create a strategy. Creating a strategy really involved making those steps that are feasible, where you can basically jump, instead of jumping, like you saw that picture with the open water, just jumping in and diving in, more taking those steps, step by step, day by day goals. So that's what I did, and I just got started. Getting started is actually one of the most difficult things, as many of you have probably seen in your own ventures, and just getting to it. So that's what I did and got started. And here we have the, go back, the getting started picture with one of our first events was with the UTEP chapter. We had a the interview for them, and we collaborated, so we had that for them. This is one of our first events with getting started. Now, I did mention that, I'm going to take you in a nice seat here, but about ALPFA, let me give you a quick, about ALPFA and what we do. The Association of Latino Professionals is essentially, the goal is and the mission is to develop and empower Latino leaders of character in every sector of the global economy. And this encompasses all backgrounds, and this is what's beautiful about ALPFA, all backgrounds and men and women, and of all stages. So students, early career, mid-career, entrepreneurs. And since I've been shuffling around with the slides a little bit, I'll have to rush a little, but with regards to the programming, this is by the numbers, 80,000 members, over 44 professional chapters nationwide, 160 student chapters, so for instance like UTEP, and of course we're glad to have El Paso's presence as well. What we do develop and empower. I could literally go on for a whole day on this, but I'll just give you a quick tidbit where we prepare students, mentor students, develop early to mid-career professionals. So there is coaching involved, networking, leadership development, and professional development at all levels, including entrepreneurs, because there's a lot of networking that we do as well. And as I mentioned, there's Paso chapter now. We're so glad to have this presence here. And our goals for growth, we really do intend to empower and develop Latino leaders here in El Paso and community and beyond. We really want the chapter to grow, and it engages with all organizations with similar missions. So this is different than some of the organizations maybe you have seen. We really do like to collaborate. The professional programming that we've had several already thus far in the last 2 years. We've had Women of Alpha event. We've had a professional development luncheons, and we've had leadership luncheons, and this is our next event. We have a leadership luncheon with great leaders with regards to, answering the question, why El Paso? Why are you bringing, your talent here? And of course, we want to encourage people to do so. And so we hope that you receive the date for this. Our events are sponsored by local sponsors, and that varies by event. So with regards to Alpha, as I mentioned, it's really a great opportunity to grow. Alpha is a true catalyst, so I want to really leave you with that. A catalyst for professional development in oneself. It is a career catalyst, it's a career empowerment tool, and it also helps beyond your own personal growth. It helps the community, and the intent is to really develop the next generation of Latino leaders in our community and beyond. So with that, I know there's although this is my first time, I understand there's a question and answer that goes after this, so I'm not sure how that worked out, but
We just open up to questions.
okay. Yes, how much is the membership? So basic membership is free. All you have to do is go to join Alpha at the alpha.org. And the next steps are gold membership, that's $200. And that's if you want to be part of the board, to be a gold member, and also to be more involved with some of the webinars and more information more involved. But to get started, free. It's free, which is really good. Yes. Oh.
Does Italian count as Latino?
Oh yes, of course. Everybody's welcome. It is amazing. The Washington D.C. board, and it is just a really eclectic. I mean, it's wonderful. It's all backgrounds. But yes.
Can you elaborate again or give us the information again for the next event?
Oh yes. So the next event is let's see if this, like I said, this Prezi. Oh look, it actually worked. To see, it's just for you. September 28th. 12 to 1:30 at the Doubletree, and we'll have lunch here as well, and you're invited. So
Is there a fee?
it's $10 for lunch for us.
So you register online or?
Anything else?
Can you give us some examples of some of the speakers or some of the trainings that you've done at past events?
Oh, sure. So one of our, for instance, the Women of Alpha event, we had a leading financial advisor from Northwestern Mutual from Dallas, and she came to speak to us about her story on how, similar to this, where how she got started on her career to really catalyze it and make it to that higher next level. And some of our other professional development was professional growth, and really looking at how you can look at your experience and really just start and engage on those next ventures in your life.
Do you have you form partnerships or associations with other such organizations?
We do collaborate. We're open to collaborating with other organizations for events, so please do let us know. You can contact me anytime if you have an idea.
Questions? I know somebody else has a question.
Sure, anything. Even on the business side, right? I went over those steps really fast, so anything.
No? Going once?
Confirm the website?
So www.alpha.org. That's the national one, and then the El Paso chapter is elpaso.alpha.org, and that's where you get information local. But you join Alpha through the national. Let's see. We have all that information, so we're on Facebook too.
So how are you going to kind of monitor or track the success of your venture?
Oh yes, tracking, benchmarking, very important, so it's a really good question. So we do that, our board meets, and we have, I know actually a board member here in the audience already, Cynthia. We meet very regularly and look at the metrics as far as how membership is going. We engage feedback from attendees at our events to see if that is something that they are, want to add value. So we look at that, and so we assess that after an event and look at where we are. And we also have an annual plan, and we engage at the middle of the year.
So you're tracking attendance and membership and all that, but ultimately your goal is to get young Latinos or anybody, whoever is part of your organization,
yes,
placed or advanced in their careers or whatever, to help people, help them be more successful at what they're choosing to do.
Yes.
Have you got any goals as far as what types of metrics you're going to use to track that? Because ultimately that's your measure. Membership in the organization shouldn't be your goal.
Right.
It's the results of how those members succeed.
Yes, so we are looking at that as far as, since we started the chapter here a little under 2 years ago. So we're engaging with the UTAB chapter, and we meet with them, and we're going to be setting a plan, for that as well, so we can see their progress and also check up with that. And we have members speaking at our meetings as well, and it's amazing to see the growth already, even with the, for instance, the board members, where we started, and some of them on their ventures and growth, and you can see, I'm not saying it's just attributed to ALPFA, but I'm just saying that, to see that how they've progressed since then. But I know that developing metrics is going to be something that we really do need to initiate on that. So that's going to be, if you think of phases, phase 2 of our plan. So phase 1 is getting started, getting this off the ground. So phase 2 is really looking at that to make sure we are making an impact. We really want to be an organization that does catalyze someone's growth. And you're right, it's all about measuring, because if not, then we won't know where we're going. And, yes.
I missed the beginning, but how long has ALPFA been around, the organization?
As an organization, it's been around for over 44 years in the U.S., and it's throughout the country, so it has over 44 professional chapters. And that's why I was amazed that we didn't have one in El Paso. And I was just sitting actually in a conference at the ALPFA National Conference, and they asked me, well, why don't you start with it? And I was like, okay, then let me start with it, because we don't have one in El Paso, and so it's good to be part of this group, and I see what it does in other cities, so I'm really curious and really excited to see what it's going to do for El Paso.
Okay, any other questions? Yes.
What kind of support are you finding around the state of Texas? There are other organizations statewide that are kind of associated like this.
Am I finding it with the state of Texas?
Yeah, do you have other associations around the state of Texas?
Oh yes, there's one in Dallas, there's one in San Antonio, there's one in, some chapters are active, some are not. The East Coast, they're really active, but I really want, the Midwest, maybe we can be the most active chapter, and the participation is there, and we are getting more and more sponsors as we go along, which does show for the interest.
You might have missed it, but how often do you meet?
We try to meet every month. Right now in the summer, we have like one meeting in the summer, but every month, and we have an event about maybe every other month. But if you want, I can send you the emails on those.
Any others? Okay, the final question is always, what can we as a community do to help ALPFA?
Just show up to one of our meetings and learn more, and see if it can help you, and you want to help partake in the community as well with this mission. So I think it really does fall in line with a lot of us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. We have to take a picture. I don't know if this is going to reach. Over here with the.
Oh, okay.
You want to go on the other side? I'm going to have to stay on this side. You should go on the other side.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we have some time for some announcements. The first one that I did not make at the beginning, if you are parked in front of the building in the angled parking, first of all, you only have an hour, so you may have to run out and check it, and you have to be backed in. So if you're in front of the building and you're not, and you didn't back in, please do so, and you only have an hour from whatever time you got here. Next, we have some, does anybody in the audience have any community announcements they would like to make? Going once, yes sir, Bob.
So we've been running I'm Bob with Community Health Coaching. We've been running a 6-week charity challenge to raise money for Rancho Los Amigos, a children's home in Juarez. Our wrap-up event is next Saturday evening, the 12th, from 4 to 7 at Wine Attitude on the west side. It's free to attend. And as part of that, we're going to be doing a 50-50 raffle for people that night that make a donation. 50% of the pot will go to, as an additional donation to the Rancho, and the other 50% of the pot will go to one of the lucky winners that's in attendance and made a donation. So it's free to attend. Hope to see you there.
Okay. Next we have Paso has an opening for a part-time marketing / blogger position. This is in downtown El Paso, 13 and a half hours a week. If you have any interest in that, please come and see me or one of the organizers after the event. The U.S. Patent Trademark Office is having a free seminar, Meet the Trademark Experts. That's actually today, August 2nd, from 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time to till 12:30 Mountain Time, because they have it in Central. And again, you can access that remotely, or the USPTO office does have a regional office at the NMSU library. Next, Breakfast with Friends is a free professional networking event every Thursday morning from 8:30 to 10 a.m. at the Carnitas Querétaro on the east side, 9077 Gateway West. People Fund is having a veteran education and lending event on August 5th from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. If you have any questions or interest, please see one of us or Ms. Esther Lopez. The Greater El Paso Chamber of Commerce is hosting the Governor's Small Business Forum. That's August 10th from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And that'll be here downtown at the El Paso Convention Center. The Arrowhead Center at the New Mexico State University is hosting an event called Cultivating Innovation in Agriculture. That's also on August 10th in Las Cruces at the New Mexico Farm and Ranch Museum from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Next, the Rio Grande Council of Governments, along with the Hunt Institute and the U.S. Census Bureau, is hosting an event, El Paso's Road to the 2020 Census, How Communities Can Prepare. That'll be Tuesday, August 23rd, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the City of El Paso Environmental Services Department on 7968 Sao Paulo. That's over by Yarbrough. Next, the Service Corps of Retired Executives, in association with the Greater El Paso Chamber of Commerce, is having a pre-business workshop Thursday, August 24th from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Greater El Paso Chamber of Commerce at 10 Civic Center Plaza. And lastly, I believe, there's a pre-business workshop also by the Greater El Paso Chamber, August 24th, also at the Civic Center. So please let us know if you have any interest in any of those events. Next, we get to give away a mug. Today, we actually have enough business cards. People sometimes don't drop off their business cards, but makes it easy on me. I just have to pick one instead of coming up with a question. So let's see. Okay, Gabby Reza. Gabby Reza. And you have to do the presentation. Okay, with that, I'm going to bring up our next presenter, Mr. Gbenga Asedeko.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you, Ernesto. Well, it's a great day to be alive. I'm excited to be here with you this morning. My name is Gbenga Asedeko. I'm originally from Nigeria, West Africa. I've been here since 1997. I came here with $20 in my pocket, but with a big dream in my heart. America is a land of opportunity and not a land of dependency. Many of us that came from overseas, from different countries, we came here seeking opportunity. We came here seeking a better life. You know, I went to UTEP, I got my bachelor's in accounting and my master's in business administration. I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an author, I am a consultant, I do training, and I do coaching as well. Life was not that fun for me growing up. I grew up in a very big family. I have 6 sisters. I'm the only boy, and I was the main problem in the family. And then at one point, my dad gave up on me, but he's proud of me now. And I'm an author. One of the first books that I wrote is this right here, called The Devotional for Busy People. All the top motivational speakers in the world, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, and Tony Robbins, one of the things they talk about that is very important in their lives And everybody they consulted for is their spirituality. So what I wrote on this is a 365 days of devotion. It's 1 minute. You get something into your life that will help you get your life and get your day started. This second book I wrote, I co-authored this book with my dear friend Kelly Calabris and Kai Wilson and 25 other entrepreneurs all over the nation. This book is #1 on Amazon in 10 different categories. That is me right there. Look at my beautiful picture, right? It's an incredible book forwarded by Tom Ziegler. You know, Mr. Zig Ziglar, that's the son of Mr. Zig Ziglar, inspired me when I was back home in Nigeria. You know, I finished high school. After high school, grew up in a very poor neighborhood in Nigeria. I read a book by Mr. Zig Ziglar, See You at the Top. And that book changed my life. One of my dreams was to meet with Mr. Zig Ziglar. I didn't get to meet with him. I was close to meeting with him when he came to El Paso during the Get Motivated seminar or conference that they had. I was right in front. But last year, I met with his son, Tom Ziegler. I shared the story with him, and he forwarded the book that I co-authored. It's amazing. It's amazing. Never give up on your dream. Keep following your dream. Keep moving forward in your dream, and keep doing what is possible for yourself. This book right here is about stories. There's something powerful about stories. You know, stories can inspire you. Stories can cause you to take certain action in your life. Because stories can make you laugh. They can make you cry. They can make you angry. What is your story? You see, I can give you 4 tips on how to overcome fear, but you might forget the 4 tips before you get to the parking lot. But if I share a story with you on how to overcome fear, that story sticks with you. By the way, politicians are good with stories. I mean, they will tell us their stories about what they are going to do, how they are going to do it, and when they get to office, they do nothing. You know what is funny? The following election cycle, they come back to us and tell us the exact same story in a different format. And none of us go crazy. Oh yeah, he's my candidate, he's my politician. Everybody go crazy about it. It's a vicious cycle of madness. You know, we can learn from politicians on how to use stories, on how to have a story that can inspire people. But the only thing about us is that we have to deliver on our promises to our clients. We have to make sure we deliver to them. It's very, very important. And if we can't deliver at the time we say we are going to deliver, we call them and say, no, I promised to deliver, but I can't deliver. I'm going to set a new day. Stories are very, very important. These are the services that we provided with what I do. We do speaking, training, coaching, consulting. Speaking is very simple. Somebody had an event, they invite me to come be their keynote speaker. I did one last Thursday with the Socorro Independent School District at the Agnosis Rally. I was their keynote speaker over there. I do training. I do 4-hour training, 3-day training, depending on what is going on, and consulting, coaching, and all of that. I want to share with you about what this is all about, the foundation of it. You know, it is very, very important in your business, in your life, in anything that you do, that you are solving problems and not focusing on symptoms. You know, if you focus on symptoms, eventually you'll be out of business. You want to be solving problems for people. You know, you get paid for solving problems. That's what you get paid to do. The bigger the problem you solve, the more money you make. So what we do is basically I want to find out with each of my clients, whether I'm doing speaking, training, coaching, or consulting, I want to find out what is their story. What is the story they are living in? What is the story about that person? What is causing them to behave the way they behave? What is causing them to think the way they think? What is causing them to act the way they act? What is their story? All of us live in stories every day. That was what I had sometimes. All of us are a meaning-making machine. We make meaning out of everything. We live in stories. Many of you had a story this morning about this event this morning. When you found out that I'm speaking, you have a story about me. And the story goes like this. Man, Gbenga is speaking. He's tall, dark, handsome, smart, intelligent, bold, limitless. That's not what you guys are thinking? What are you guys laughing at? You know, it doesn't matter what you are thinking. You know what matters? What matters is what I'm thinking. That's what is important to me. You have to wake up every morning. This is going to be a great day. I'm going to close that deal. I'm going to have that contract. Your stories are very, very important. What stories are you living in? So what I do with all of my clients, I have to find out what is going on in there. What is the story? Many of them have stories of fear, and your story can limit you. Your story can create potential for your life. So you have to change your story, the conversation you are having with yourself every day, every morning. So what I do, when I find out what their story is, then we can create a plan of action for them. Because the story always, all the time, point to the problem. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I'm always very slow. I said, who told you that? Because I know me, I'm always very slow. And then change the story. That I'm very fast, I'm very effective, and I'm very efficient in what I do. We live in stories and we make stories every day, every minute, every hour, we make stories and we live in that story. Many of us make stories of fear. I'm always fearful, I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of spiders. Not me, but people make stories about it. So when you change your story, when you change your conversation, then we can create a plan of action for you. Whether it's training, speaking, coaching, then we actually solve the problem that our clients have or dealing with when they are dealing with it. So very, very important. So let me ask you this, what is your story? What story did you make up this morning? Coffee maker is not working, you make up a story, you're going to have a bad day because the coffee maker is not working. It's just take little things to make you to have a story that will limit your life, that will limit what you can do for the people around you, for the people in your life. So change your story, change your life, change your conversation. You guys like what I'm sharing with you? You like that? Say yes. Yes. Thank you. What is your story then? What is your story? When you live here today, think about that. What stories have you been living in your marriage, with your children, with that client that is difficult to get? Did you complain about him or her? I can't get this client. It's just too difficult. It's too challenging. What is your story about your business? What is your story about a Paso? There's nothing much to do in a Paso. There's very less opportunity. You know, if that's what you want, that's what you are going to get. But if you see limitless opportunity in a Paso, that is what you are going to get. I will end with this. Fear. How many of you have been afraid before? You've had fear in your life? Fear, let me say. Fear. But I'm going to share with you real quick what you can do to get rid of fear. You know, fear has been said as to be false evidence appearing real. So fear that you have is not really real. It's a false evidence appearing real. Whenever you have a fear, here's what is going on. Your fear is attached to something or someone. So if you can look at your fear and ask yourself, what is my fear attached to? Or who is my fear attached to? And if you can separate that person and that thing, your fear, is attached to, if you can separate it, your fear is standalone. Your fear has no power. Because who and what your fear is attached to is what is feeding your fear that is causing you to be afraid, that is causing you to be fearful. And your mind made for fear. Your mind is made for you to create, for you to imagine, for you to do something unbelievable. So whenever you are fearful, the first question you want to ask yourself is this: what is my fear attached to? Maybe you are worrying about closing that deal. So instead of you worrying about it, 3 minutes?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Instead of you worrying about closing that deal, why can't you just focus about what you can do to create more value? So think about it. Whatever your fear is attached to, separate it and focus on what you can do. Don't use your mind to worry. Use your mind to create. Use your mind to imagine. When life gives you a lemon, make lemonade, make lemon cream, make lemon cake out of it. Don't waste your disappointment. You are made for more. I will leave you with this. As you live here today, what is your story? And go do whatever you can to make that story an incredible story. Thank you.
Now we have 15 minutes for questions.
50.
1-5.
1-5.
I've known Gbenga a long time, I know.
We went to school together.
That's right.
He was the crazy one, I'm the cool guy.
That's right.
And any question? Yeah, go ahead.
What
about your own story inspired you to do what you're doing today?
You know what? I taught myself how to read and write my first year of high school. You know, like I shared with you, I was the problem in the family. I was the only boy, but I was the main problem in the family. I wasn't focused. I was what is called NFA, no future ambition. And my first year of high school, something happened in me that caused me to turn my life around. And since then, I've been just so curious. One of my uncles, we started a computer company back home in Nigeria together. Early 90s, one of the first computer companies in Nigeria. We started it together. And I was, at the age of 19, I was training CEOs and corporate executives on how to use Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word. And I found myself, when I was training them, I found myself using life experience to train them on how to use computers and Microsoft Word and all of those other softwares. And many of them would say, this is a room full of people like this. I can use that for my wife, I can use that for my son. And I started journalizing, I started writing stuff down. And I just thought, this is incredible. I think I'm going to be a good speaker. Yeah. I'm going to be an inspiring person. That was how I started. And I think I'm a good speaker.
Oh, you're very good.
I'm very humble.
So I love your philosophy and your energy. What tips do you have to be able to stay like this focused every day? Like every day, how do you start your day?
You're going to have a bad day. Sometimes things will not work well as planned. And what you want to be doing consistently is to have what is called a mindset. Actually, there's a book about it, I believe. It's called Mindset. It's to have your mindset on making sure that when things happen, they don't knock you down. You know, I mean, I've been disappointed, but you don't want to stay disappointed. I've gone on a deal that I thought would close, that didn't close. I saw something on Facebook the other day. It was a little video, and the guy was talking about stress. And he, can I borrow your cup? Your little cup. And the guy filled up a glass of water, filled up a glass with water. And he asked the audience, what does this glass of water weigh? Let me ask you, what does a glass of water that is weigh? A number?
3 ounces.
3 ounces, 3 ounces. What was it?
About 10 ounces.
10 ounces? Okay, both of you are wrong. The person said the glass of water weight depends on how much you hold it for. You see, if you hold it for 1 hour, eventually you won't be able to hold it anymore. Your hand is shaking. So whenever things happen, so we want to make sure you shake it off right away. Just look at it as what it is. Remember what I said. Don't use your mind to worry. Use your mind to think, use your mind to pray. Whenever you're going through stuff, always train your mind to focus on what can I do to make it better? What can I do to get things going? And many times, maybe we have a child that's giving us trouble, a teenager. Maybe our marriage is not going very well. Most of the time, what causes us, entrepreneurs, what causes us to be so discouraged all the time is something personal. Most of us, many entrepreneurs, they are always energy getters, they are go-getters, they are fighters, they get back up when they are not down. But what keeps us down most of the time is what is personal to us, a child, your spouse, your little chihuahua, if you have a dog. I mean, your dog is sick, you can't see your whole meeting. I have to take my dog to the bed. What keeps us entrepreneurs, what keeps us down most of the time is something personal. But most of the time, like I said, if you can sit down and think about what can I do to make it better? What is the solution? I mean, Brian Tracy said it better. He said, get a piece of paper, ask yourself, what is my problem? Write it down and brainstorm about it. What is the solution to my problem? I started thinking about it and get your mind to settle. Remember, your mind is not made to worry. When you started worrying and started getting fearful and started getting stressed out about what is going on, then you're not using your mind in what your mind is supposed to be used for. I don't know if I answered your question. It was a long answer. Did that answer it?
Yeah. I think what I'll do every day is, like you said, write it down. What's my problem and what can I conquer? Or what can I
Are you going through something right now that is kind of, let me just ask me that. Okay. I was going to give you free coaching. $500 an hour. I was going to give you a month. No. That would not be bad. $500 an hour. I will get there one day. Any other question?
Are you centering your coaching on individuals or corporations?
I do both.
Both?
I don't.
And do you have any personal development, specific coaching or training?
Remember when I was talking about the service that I provide, and what I shared with you was that you want to find out exactly what is going on. I want to find out what is your story. Then I've gone to a company, they want me to work with them on customer service. After we started looking at what their story was communication. That was their problem. I mean, the employees were good with customer service. I went, you guys did customer service? They said, yeah, that's what we need. All our customers are complaining. But what happened was that the people on the front desk, what they need to give to the customers, depended on some other department. And they don't have it ready. They didn't want to tell the customers, and the customer, I called you right there. There was communication. I mean, this is one of the most friendliest people you've ever met. They are laughing, and I mean, on the phone when you call, they are talking. I mean, so you want to find out what exactly is going on. Do a little feasibility study, what is your story? What is causing the issue in your life and in the organization? And from there, we begin to develop something for you personally and for the organization.
What are some of the top books that you've read that you would recommend for us to develop our mind?
See you at the top. Think and Grow Rich. The Magic of Thinking Big. Another one is 7 Habits of Highly Effective. Those are good books. And these are just good books that you can read to get you going.
What was the first one? See you?
Think and Grow Rich.
No,
but
first.
think. See you at the top. See you at the top, yeah. See you at the top, yeah. These are good books. And there's some other ones too that you can find there. The 4-Hour Work Week, Mindset. There's several of them. And nowadays you don't have to, you can do audio book. You have no excuse. I have no time to read. When you're driving in your car, we drive everywhere anyway. When you're driving, put the audio book in your car and listen to them. Feed your mind. I sleep with something every night. I have something playing on my phone. I have a lot of stuff on my podcast that I sleep with every night. Feeding my mind and getting things going. And so on and so forth. And listen to the news. Don't watch the news too much. It's too negative. So much negative going on. I get the news, but I just tell you, maybe 5 minutes I'm done. But get something and that is positive into your life. Another question? Yes, sir.
In your view, it's a philosophical question. How do you think the business environment for entrepreneurs has changed over the last 10 years?
And that's it. All of us we have to help with this question. That's a good question. I think there's a lot of energy for entrepreneurship. I think with the new administration, the regulation is much better on small businesses. And one of the things for small business owners is for us to have an environment that will cause us to thrive in everything that we are doing. And if we have regulation and taxes and stuff going on that limit us to function very well, then we don't function very well. But to answer your question, I think it's been very positive. A lot of small business owners are popping up everywhere. Whether it's a carpenter, a guy doing oil change, and I run into them all the time. What do you do? I do makeup. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I think that the environment is getting better in terms of making it more conducive for small business owners to start, making more funds available for them through small business administration. I think they are making that more flexible for that to take place. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question very well, Bob, but if you can help me to see what exactly you're looking for.
No, I think that's right. That's kind of what I'm looking for, because I think not everybody understands or realizes how much the business environment has changed in support of entrepreneurship. In El Paso especially, in my experience, it's been very positive. With people like you being involved in it, I think it's very positive for the small business. The follow-up question is this, again, not too long.
No.
But what do you do? What do you do in cases where somebody fails? What do you tell that person who's just failed and not
Get back up. You can give up
because I think people fear failure too much.
Get back up. Get back up. There's so much. That's my thing about stories. When you read stories of people, I'm not. We can't promote anything. But the book that I was telling you about the moment entrepreneur, the book, is filled with stories of people of how they failed several times. I mean, lost everything, but they get back up. I mean, Tyler Perry, the movie guy, I mean, was sleeping in a car, was homeless. I mean, the key is to just get back up and say, you know what, when she went to a man, I had a story by a guy that was applying for a loan for his business, went to 30 banks, every one of them turned him down. The 31st bank said yes to him. As an entrepreneur, you have to have a mind that is made up. You have to know exactly what you're trying to do, and you have to be passionate about it, and you have to follow through on it. You have to go half time, no matter what is going on, no matter how many people say in business. I mean, maybe 10 people won't say yes. And it's just the way it is. If you don't have that ability to fail and get back up, then entrepreneurship is not for you. You have to really get the 8 to 5 deal and go for it. And just to follow up on the first question, a good example is what they are doing with this, the 1 million cups in terms of supporting small businesses. It's exactly what you get out of over here. Kind of helping us to come up with an idea and find a way to make sure that that idea grow and become reality. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay, what can we as a community do to help you, Gbenga?
If anybody know anyone that is coaching, consulting, training, and let me know. I'll be gladly. I will not be too busy to work with them. I promise you. I will take care of them.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Take a picture. Absolutely. Did I come out good?
So back when I met Gbenga at UTEP, one of our mentors, Dr. Frank Hoy, used to introduce Gbenga as the future president of Nigeria. So you may have just heard from the future president of Nigeria. Unfortunately, because of our constitution, he can't be the president of the U.S. Maybe we can get that one turned over. You know what? I actually we have a little bit of time, and plus I have the mic, so I'm going to address a little bit of what you asked, Bob, because it's very important. Academically, if you look at research, failing in entrepreneurship is an actually great indicator of future success. Research has shown that if you've already failed at a venture, your second venture or your third venture, you have a much greater possibility of success. In fact, venture capitalists and angels, and I've seen this here firsthand with ours, venture capitalists and angels actually look for that. If they look at a management team of a new startup that's seeking funding and they say, hey, this team has been in businesses before and has failed, that's better than if somebody who's never had or been part of a startup. So that's actually an indicator of future success because you've learned the hard lessons. So if as you're out there dealing with folks, say, hey, if you failed, now you're really set up for success, and that's true. So I had to get in my little 2 cents there. Okay, well that's our program for today. Thank you for coming out. Please do sign in. If you did not sign in on the way in, please do so on the way out. It's very important for us to track our attendance. That's for our sponsors, for the Kaufman Foundation. Please come back next week, bring friends, and apply to present. We are still looking for presenters. It's a great free opportunity to get the word out on your business. Thank you. See you next week.
Huh?